Hello, I'm Pam,
I'm Jane.
and we're here today to talk about the book Crying in H Mart because we are on the verge of Lunar New Year. It is the year of the snake, and specifically I learned today the wood snake, that they travel on not just the zodiac but also the elements.
Okay.
And this happens once every 60 years.
Okay.
And the year of the wood snake says that people who are born in this year are exceptionally hardworking and trustworthy. So all the 2025 year of the snake babies, this is what we have to look forward to. This book is by Zauner, and it is just a wonderful American story. It's a immigration story, it's a coming of age story, it's a parent-child story. Tell me what you felt about this book.
Wow. So this is a memoir.
Mm-hmm.
So it's her story.
Yes.
And I guess what I really loved about it was so nuanced.
Yes.
Because as you say, a coming of age, an immigration story, it's also a story about love and
Yes.
loss.
Yes. And mothers and daughters and mothers and children and daughters and dads and falling in love and
also they go on a journey.
yes.
And the journey is
Content warning, death of a parent.
Yeah.
Content warning, cancer.
Yeah.
So if that's triggering for you, know that
But-
that's a piece
So
of
I
it.
felt that it was a physical journey, but it was also a journey of the soul.
Yes.
And I loved how they communicated through food, because in my family, and I'm sure in yours,
Mine too.
we can tell a lot of stories by what we eat
Yes.
and what we have at the table and
Yeah.
how we prepare the food and how we grow the food.
And we should probably talk a little bit about, so she is a Korean American who was born in Seoul to a Korean mother and an American father.
Yep.
And she then moved to the United States to Oregon when she was really, really young.
Yeah.
And then would spend her summers in Seoul.
No.
And she didn't learn to speak Korean,
No.
but she did learn Korean food. And then when her mother passed away,
Yeah.
and she's going back to Korea to try to connect with her pieces of family that are still alive, the language they have,
What's the language of food?
food.
Yeah.
And she brings her very not Korean husband with her, and
And that was a delightful part of the story.
Yes,
It was
yes.
just lovely. It was lovely. But when I read this story, because oftentimes when I cook Thai food or Chinese food, I go to the Asian markets over on Division, and I want to buy authentic ingredients. And so I love this part of her going shopping for the same ingredients, not the stuff you find at the big box
Right.
stores, but authentically ingredients that her mom would use.
I did not know what an H Mart was.
Yeah.
And then I have a student who's a debater who hopefully will come on and talk about another book. But she told me, I have a story about crying in H Mart.
Yeah.
And I didn't
Yeah.
understand that
Yeah.
what an H Mart is to Asian Americans. And we have an Asian American friend who taught us to make dumplings. And we went out to lunch, dinner.
But when his family immigrated from Southeast Asia, I think they were sponsored by the Christian Reformed Church, and when they immigrated here, they weren't sure how it was going to go until they went to a grocery store and found the ingredients that they could cook with.
Yes.
So we can't emphasize enough
Yes.
how much of that is home in your soul.
Is food. So in conclusion, we highly recommend Crying in H Mart by Zauner, and it is full of wonderful food and memories and family.
And we have a lot of wonderful books
we
we can talk
do.
about.
And we're going to be coming back to talk
Yeah.
to you about more from Asian authors
Yeah.
with Asian stories
From memoirs to graphic fiction
to
classics.
classics.
Yeah.
To what we call a quote-unquote backroom book that are used as part of our content, and to stories that are across all of Asia, from China to Japan to Korea to Vietnam. So happy Lunar New Year in the year of the snake.